Hey everybody, welcome back around to the Blog and Grill. I'm your host Doug here with your sports video blog for August 14th, 2014. I have a great blog once again planned for you tonight as we're going back-to-back days, as our new schedule on the blog is going to be Monday, Wednesday, Thursday for the next couple of weeks. I got some good stuff for you today. I'm going to have some NFL two-a-days with the Titans and with the Jaguars, and also I'm going to give you my AFC playoff teams. Preseason Week 2 gets going tonight. We'll take a look at some storylines, and also we have a couple of breaking news stories, so let's get to the breaking news first. First breaking news comes from our NASCAR at Michigan segment we're going to do tonight. Tony Stewart is set to sit out another race, the second race in a row, at Michigan this weekend following the death of Kevin Ward Jr., which he was a part of during that terrible accident. The last couple of days we've heard from Kevin Ward Jr.'s father. He has spoken out and basically said that the accident was 100% Tony Stewart's fault. I don't know how you can legitimately make this claim when the guy gets out of his car and comes down the track. Just a very emotional situation going on right there. So Tony Stewart will sit out at Michigan, and that really puts his chances of getting into the chase by winning a race and getting into the top 30 in jeopardy. The driver to watch this weekend at Michigan is going to be Greg Biffle for me. Biffle runs good at Michigan. He's currently 17th in points, just one spot out, 8 points out of the chase. So Greg Biffle is my driver to watch this week at Michigan, and we'll talk more NASCAR on Monday. The other breaking news story tonight was the new Major League Baseball commissioner. He was elected to serve, and the winner has been Rob Manfred, the chief operating officer of Major League Baseball under Bud Selig. He's basically Bud Selig's protege. He's the equivalent of Adam Silver to David Stern. Not my top choice, definitely. I really would have liked to see a guy outside of baseball come in, a younger guy possibly, or if not a younger guy, the guy I really wanted to see was Bob Costas come in and take over as the Major League Baseball commissioner. It's going to be Rob Manfred. He has some big challenges for sure. He has to figure out how to market the sport better. Also, he has to figure out how to get games to play quicker, and he also needs to look at possibly shortening up the season as well. So that's what Rob Manfred needs to do, and we're going to have a lot more on this as well as the details become more prevalent for us. All right, back on to our NFL two-a-days section as we'll finish up the blog tonight with 3 NFL segments. The first one we're going to look at is our NFL two-a-days with the Jacksonville Jaguars. Last year they were 4-12. Not very good. Chad Henne played inconsistent at quarterback, but they played well down the stretch, losing some games close late in the season. They played well in a game in Seattle as well. Draft-wise, I think they get an A-. I like some of the guys they brought in. They got some good skill players and also some very good role players in later rounds for sure. I like to pick up a Blake Bortles for sure on this team. Key additions for this team, they re-signed quarterback Chad Henne. They pick up running back Toby Gerhart to replace a guy who left. They get the defensive end Chris Clemens from the Seattle Seahawks, and they bring in the offensive guard Zane Beadles. Key departures, they lose Jason Babin, who is a rock on their defensive line, and also running back Maurice Jones-Drew, who went out to Oakland. I think the big question for this team is, can this team make any strides in the easiest division in football? This team needs to step up and try to win some more games and try to get some more consistent quarterback play out of Chad Henne, and we'll see if they can. Ultimately, I think this team will pick up 2 games as they will finish at 6-10 in 3rd place in the AFC South. All right, preseason week 2 getting ready to get going tonight. We got the big game tonight that's on ESPN is between the Jacksonville Jaguars and the Chicago Bears. Blake Bortles back in action tonight, a guy that I think could be a starter in the NFL for upwards of 10 years. One of the few guys in this draft class that can do that. So keep an eye on Blake Bortles tonight. Big news out of Cleveland Browns camp today was that Brian Hoyer will start over Johnny Manziel, and then news came out just about an hour ago that Manziel was late to a meeting on Monday, so maybe that has something to do with it, but we still think Johnny Manziel and Brian Hoyer are on even footing for the quarterback job in Cleveland. Another thing to watch this weekend, the New York Giants will be in action once again. The Giants running game, okay? The Giants running game has been a huge talk in Giants camp this year. They've ran the ball exclusively. Andre Williams has been a big key to this running game, and recently the former Jaguar Rashard Jennings has become a huge runner for this team. We'll see if the rookie out of Boston College gets more carries or if Rashard Jennings becomes the #1 guy. And finally, my guy with the most to gain this week in preseason, week number 2, has to be Teddy Bridgewater, going up against the Cardinals. A good secondary and some very good defense. We'll see how Bridgewater does as he is in the quarterback battle, I think, with Matt Castle. And I think the best thing for Bridgewater is to win this job because he's not going to be able to learn a lot under Castle and Ponder. We'll do some more NFL preseason. We'll wrap up week 2 next week sometime. All right, time for our second NFL two-a-day, and it's going to be with the Tennessee Titans. Last year, they finished 7-9, started off well, really struggled down the stretch after Jake Locker got hurt. A lot of middle of the road for this team for sure. Their draft, I'm going to give them a B. I like that they got a top 5 offensive lineman in Taylor Lewan, and they also picked up a good quarterback in the late rounds of Zach Mettenberger. Key additions, Ken Wisenhunt comes in as the new head coach. They get better on the defensive side of the ball with Bernard Pollard at safety and Wesley Woodyard at linebacker. And they get a very skilled guy who can do a lot of things, return kicks, catch balls, run balls, in Dexter McCluster. Key departures, they got rid of Mike Munchak. He was fired. Ryan Fitzpatrick was released. He goes to Houston. Chris Johnson was released. He goes to New York. And Rob Baronis leaves as well. So a lot of players leaving. I think the question for this team is, can Jake Locker last a full season? Because their quarterback options after Jake Locker are Charlie Whitehurst and also, I think, are Zach Mettenberger. I think Mettenberger will play probably 4 games this year at the end of the year when Locker gets banged up. Ultimately, I think they play a pretty easy schedule. I think they're going to pretty much go back and forth with wins, and I see them finishing at 8-8, second place in the AFC South. All right, so my AFC South division shapes up like this: Indy in at first at 12-4, Tennessee 8-8, Jacksonville 6-10, and Houston at 5-11. And now it's time for my AFC playoff teams, as we are halfway through our two-a-days, as we'll head to the NFC East next time out. My playoff teams are this: my division winners, I got Denver in the West, Indy in the South, New England in the East, and Cincinnati in the North. My wildcard teams both come from the AFC North, with Pittsburgh and Baltimore winning the 2 wildcard spots. All right, we'll be back next week. We're going to talk hunt for October. We're going to go to Cowboys and Giants camp as the Cowboys look to rebound. We'll also hit up some headlines as well. You can always check me out now on sportsmindednews.com. You can also follow me on Twitter at YankeeBaller415. Comment, question, subscribe to my page. Thanks for tuning in to the Blog and Grill. I'll be back on good old Friday. Have a good one.